Back at it on the Trike. This week, we're gonna do all sorts of fun stuff. Hydraulics. I'm gonna build the rest of the controls, the footboards, all that good stuff for the cockpit. That was fun. Suspension seems good.
No catastrophes.
Yeah, nothing broke. I messed this one up a good bit. See how that doesn't stick out past that? Here's what I did. I put the calipers on here and I went, oh yes, 0.75, that ought to do it. That's not 0.75. Because 0 is minus 0.4. They weren't zeroed properly. Quick redesign. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, look at that. Bolt hole even works. No adjustments required. Nice. That looks really spiffy. And yes, I removed a lot of the material here, but it's also 3/8 of an inch thick, and there's gonna be 2 of them per side, so it will be plenty strong. Right, Frederick? Right, Frederick? It'll be plenty strong. Frederick, come here. Hey. I said your name loudly. That doesn't mean you're in trouble, Fred. You're a silly boy. Okay, well, now everybody wants attention. This is not productive. You guys should go be dogs, too. I'm really stupid.
Oh, because
I didn't account for the thickness of the how much it's. Good lord!
I guess third time is the charm on this one.
I guess so. I was really confident that those were gonna work. Before I had this end centered, but I'm thinking that if I push it all the way over to that side, it'll be better because I think that will just give it a little more leverage on this and hopefully also keep it a little more symmetrical. I realize now, I mean, obviously this is a little late, as in like months late, but if I'd thought this design through before building it entirely, I could have made plates that went all the way across and had all 3 mount points all integrated into one plate. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't design it all at once because that's not how I do. Check it out. I put it over here, and the circle in the center surrounds an existing circle. That's satisfying. Right? Using every little scrap. Perfection. I would say that's probably close enough. All right, well, we don't have clearance, so I might as well hook up the test system to it. And before we do that test, I should just run the actual lines from here to the orbital valve. I ordered some 90s that are straight out of this fitting, so that, you know, you could put a straight fitting on the hose and then have it come for tighter clearance, but I don't think we need it. It seems like we have plenty of clearance here. There's only 1 week left to enter to win this beautiful 2024 Cummins with these sweet wheels and tires and $20,000 cash. So head over to grindhardplumbingco.com, get yourself some sweet merch like this flannel. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win that truck. You also win that little electric pit button right there. And Einstein approved. Right, Einstein? Yeah. Yeah. Even with that larger diameter ram, this pump just, like, that's as fast as I can steer it. I'm thinking with that larger cylinder in there, the larger ram, might swap out this orbital valve and trade it for the one that's in the Mini Jeep. Having a few less turns would be nice. 'Cause, I mean, you saw how many turns it was. Tis time to start designing the footboard, foot peg, control board thingamajigs, foot protectors. Place for your feet! Yeah. Everything control related will be attached to this moving subframe, because that way, you can imagine if I connected the foot pegs to this, and then you hit a bump, you would have sudden, unexpected inputs. I think I have a plan, aesthetically, structurally, spiritually. I'm gonna go from somewhere along this tube, probably like right about there-ish, but I'm gonna try to keep this one parallel with that tube aesthetically, and that brings it out pretty much perfectly to where I want the top of the footboard to be. 25. I wonder if this Changli battery that's powering the contactor on this will ever die. Like, I wonder how many years of use it would take to drain it. Because all it does is when you push the lever on, it closes the contactor and holds it closed while you're doing it. It's not providing any of the amperage to do anything. So the idea was do this, but I don't like the way that looks in various ways. So if I do this, and keep this part of it in a visual plane. It's actually quite nice. The whole leg rests on it a little bit, you know? Comfort-wise, that's ideal, because then it's not just your heel resting on, you know, the footboard or whatever. I was thinking about doing, you know, a tube or whatever on the front and then connecting it with another one or whatever, but I think what I want to do instead is have the second tube come from right about this bend out and around and be a slightly, like, converging angle there. And then I want to make the footboard here out of like 3/8 plate and just make it have a lot of holes in it, and then have it be the end of these tubes. On the bottom, I think I might have something that comes like a small piece of tube. This is just a scrap, but something along the lines of this that as a sort of, you know, side protection. You know, if you're driving through brush or rocks or whatever, it'll deflect it around your foot. Since we moved into the new shop like a year and a half ago, I've had this bender in a lot of different places. This is by far the best spot it's been. It's not remotely in the way most of the time, but I can still use it here without moving it. It's a good spot. Most of the time, I think that tubing looks best bent under 45 degrees. Anything more than 45 degrees just doesn't look right. And definitely not 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the worst. It's actually kind of nice. So I do like that. But it ended up a little short. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut another piece of 1.5 inches for the other side, bend it at 40 degrees, and then switch to the 1-inch die. Work smarter and harder. That's perfect. And I'm thinking, right here, I could do some fancy sheet metal with some dimple dies and stuff that could keep everything all protected and looking sweet.
What are you guys gonna do to me today? Cover me in ketchup or something?
No,
So
you're not gonna get covered in sauce. Hang on.
I brought a red hoodie and a black hoodie just in case whatever stains left.
No, you're just gonna be probably covered in mud.
Oh.
Or, you know, bits of tree or whatever. We'll see if you can guess what our idea is based on this.
Okay.
Come on.
Every day I wake up ready to push myself.
We're gonna hobby horse?
I challenge my limits, striving to be the best version of myself. I won't let someone else's success.
But remember how Steven said it was going to be a Chang Li reel?
Theirs.
I can hobby places you can't even walk?
I'm going. So I
Every day, I wake up ready to push myself further.
Places you can't even walk!
Worth it. I'm pretty sure it's time for some new clothes.
And luckily for me, this video is sponsored by our favorite clothing curator, Huckberry.
Shopping on Huckberry could not be easier. I got this Flint and Tender tee made in America. These shorts from the spring/summer collection. There's wedding collections.
And everything at Huckberry has been tested and inspected to make sure it's the highest quality. So you don't have to wonder if you're ordering something that's gonna fall apart in like 5 minutes. Everything I've gotten from Huckberry is super comfy, super high quality, and the fit is perfect. So check out our link in the description. It's huckberry.com. They have all sorts of good stuff to outfit your spring and summer. Oh, hello. Oh, woo, woo, to you. If you don't imagine any of this here, then this could go all the way out to right there. Foot's chilling here. Break. Break. Yeah. 1.5 inch tube, 1-inch tube, and then I'm thinking this for another 1-inch tube that goes around the back of the foot area and back to the main tube.
I really need
The mission was to make something vaguely foot-shaped, but also interesting looking and full of hexagons. I think mission accomplished. Also made a bunch of really thick hexagons. I don't love this straight line here, but it'll make sense. Final, you know, it's all assembled and such. Makes sense, right, Einstein? No, this is not a snack. I promise you, it's not a snack. Your mom's gone. You're losing your damn mind, aren't you? This is day one. She's gone all week. Are you gonna lose it? Yeah. Who's a mama's boy? You? Yeah. Excuse me? Sir? Could you just, for 2 seconds, let me do my job, please? Yeah, okay. Well, hey, that looks pretty cool, I think. You'll be able to see your feet and what they might hit. Also, you shouldn't be hitting anything this close to the front tire, because if you do, it's gonna be a problem back there. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. What this is 90 degrees.
Darn it, Ethan.
How could I?
Make it 89.
No, there's only one thing worse than 90 degrees, and that's almost 90 degrees. Now this is pod racing. That's the driving position most of the things I build.
Yeah.
So it might be worth moving it back an inch. Who knows what we're gonna do with this thing, but in theory it could climb straight up a pretty big wall. And if in theory it could, then we have to find out if it can. I'm gonna move it back a little bit. I think it'll look better. And for shorter people, it'll be just as comfortable, if not more so. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a tall person's machine. It's funny, it kind of looks like there's a person in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so person-shaped.
Yeah, it's like there's a little droid in there.
I've always liked the number, there's a degree, I've always liked 30, you know? Before I even really was into hexagons, when you're cutting lumber for, I don't know, a shelf or a brace or something, you want to look nice and you put a bullnose on it, I always liked 30 degrees better than 45.
I agree. 45 is a little too...
It's too much, right?
A little too cheese wet.
Also, you know what's funny? I just remembered, when I was like 15, I built a hexagonal picnic table. You remember that table? It was still around.
Actually, I do remember that table.
And then eventually it was pretty rotten, so we threw it on a bonfire and stood on top of it while there was fire everywhere.
I remember that too.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is I built a fancy hexagonal picnic table with a hexagonal bench that went all the way around it. And there you have it. I've been into hexagons way longer than one would think. I got this little piece here tacked on. I think it looks pretty dang cool, and it certainly works really well as a foot holder spot. It realistically doesn't need a plate across the bottom, but I think I'm gonna put one there just because it'll look better. And maybe do it out of like 16 gauge and put some dimple dyed holes in it like this. But first, I'm gonna copy paste this on the other side.
Well, what do we have here?
We have enough flash drives to last a lifetime. Everybody saw me ranting about flash drives and sent us all of them. So thanks for all the flash drives. This is more than we will ever need for plasma cutting and stuff. But oh, this one just has a note. It says, "They exist," from Justin Roy.
Yeah, they do. That is awesome.
This
Thanks,
one's-
guys.
Yeah.
That's gonna save us a lot of time looking for the right stuff.
Yeah,
we
we
got the
appreciate
notes
it.
here. Thanks, Justin, Tech Jeeper. You guys are legends.
Yeah, and for the unnoted ones as well. This one's pleasingly compact.
Oh yeah, dang, that one's satisfying.
It's like a fidget toy.
Wow.
Wow, this is a whole lot of hats. It's like a rainbow. We're getting sent our own merch as fan mail.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool.
Actually, I like the white and blue one. Go to that
Yeah,
next one.
you want it?
That's
Here you
cool.
go.
Yeah, I'll take that.
These are all sorts of. Oh, this is kind of a
That's
cool
nice
color scheme.
Color scheme.
Yeah.
It's mail day for real, for real.
Yep. Dude, this is sick.
Whoa, that's,
Hey, that's cool.
super sick.
Look at that.
Maybe it's Cerberus.
That is really cool.
Huh. That's super cool. I like that.
Oh, and this one's the original sketch.
Oh, nice.
That is so cool.
Wow.
Oh, it has a Humvee seat on the back.
Yeah. It's got a bench seat back there.
Nice.
The tail of the.
Very cool. Jesse, thanks. That's legendary.
Thank you.
Definitely hang these in the garage.
You ready, man? Nice!
Nice.
You know, I've been hitting them recently. I've really been getting in a flow. I should try out for the team, you know?
Without getting too crazy with metal shaping, I totally could make a panel that goes here and put a bunch of dimple die holes in it, but I don't want to because I just had to sit in there, and this part here greatly restricts leg movement, and I can't go much inside of that zone or it'll run into this stuff. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just do. Maybe I'll see what it might look like with just like a little chunk in there. So everything from here back doesn't actually move relative to the rider, so. Yeah, and then maybe put a crease on the edge of that so it angles back a little bit. Yeah, maybe it couldn't be much, but. Gauge. That's practically paper compared to everything else we're cutting on that thing. Nice thing about cutting 16 gauge is it doesn't really hold much heat because it doesn't take much cutting.
Oh yeah, that's gonna look awesome.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I'll try bead rolling this edge so it isn't sharp for where your leg goes on there, so you can roll it over a little bit. Yonder to the press. Man, we really need to calm down on the sparkling waters around here.
Showcase of our athleticism.
Yes. to excavate the bead roller from its corner of not being used for a year.
What did we use it on last? The chopper?
Yeah, that's the last thing I remember using it on. And talk about a song I'm glad I haven't heard in a long time. By that band that I don't think anyone's ever heard of any other song they did. They're called like 3-6 Mary or something like that.
For some reason, I'm not picturing this song.
I have become cumbersome.
Okay, all right. All right, we're good on that.
Yeah. Not a fan of that song, but it's in my head for the rest of time.
Flash drive coming in clutch.
Mm-hmm. We got a left and a right. Could actually put the dimples facing up on these. I don't think I will. But I could. It would provide traction for your feet. This is a new one. Look at this. I have my hand on the bottom of this holding the plate in place, and I have a finger through one of the dimple holes to hold the rock. Yeah, what is the unmated airspeed velocity of the average swallow?
African or European?
I don't know that. Ah! Nice. See, it's important for whatever I'm running over to have a nice view.
Yeah, whoever that might be is going to be like, wow, impressive.
I didn't say whoever. I said whatever. I didn't say who. That's on you, Steven. Still need to weld that edge and then smooth it off like I did these other ones, which I think looks pretty spiffy. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Can start working on some stuff to get this thing a little closer to being able to run, like mounting the alternator and our shiny new power steering pump and other power steering stuff from Radial Dynamics. We got this big box of shiny parts here. We got all the stuff for making the rear steer electronically controlled. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah. Billet pulley. It should be actually quite easy to make a bracket because I can use those bolt holes, which will mean it's perfectly flush. And just have some spacers here. Rather than plasma cut this, I think I'm gonna mill it out of this solid block of aluminum because I did the math, and to get this pulley spaced exactly the same as this, 0.8715 inches, which is just a smidgen under 7/8. This is an inch thick, so I can mill it down to exactly the thickness. Point being, then it can just be one piece. It'll just go right there, 2 holes into the block, 2 holes for the alternator. That's it. Yeah, that works great. Way better than trying to do that on the mill or the lathe or anything else, because...
I figured it would work, I just didn't think it would be that clean.
Yeah, no, I mean, for the radius, that worked way better than I expected. We have clearance, Clarence! Man, today is really just obscure pop culture reference day, isn't it? As much as I'd like to try and do these radius cuts on the mill, I don't think it really makes any sense. Fun, but a huge waste of time, because I can just do those with the belt sander and it'll come out just as good.
Rick, are you sad because Bjorn is outside? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, it'd be very, very snug up against that engine mount. But so is everything else. What? How is that not enough clearance? Alright, that's a real easy fix. Let's see if that works better. How is there even power there? That's supposed to be... What? That was supposed to be off. There shouldn't be any power coming to it.
That was shocking.
Yeah, it was. Well, I guess the moral of the story is unplug things. I really just don't understand what's going on here. Unplug that. Now we'll turn the breaker back on. Unfortunate. Luckily, we had a spare one of those laying around. Did a test, turned on the power with this hooked up to the plug. Didn't blow anything up. That's good. Hook up those 3 wires, phases of this thing. Also not blowing anything up. Good. Now, how will we do this? Turn you off and on again real quick. Wow, those capacitors are full of capacity.
Wow.
Takes forever to turn this thing off. There we go.
Yeah, why is it being so,
Like, it just needs to be turned off and on again every time it errors out? That's dumb. Now, let's try this again with that going forward instead of backward.
I see you didn't blow yourself up last night.
I did not. After you left, I finished setting up I mean, the mill phase converter works just fine. It just, like, if it errors out, it won't restart. You have to turn it off and on again. Don't know why. But I finished this. Used the chamfer tool to make it all pretty looking, which it looks real nice. And then I needed some spacers for the backside, and I found these ones in our bin of dumpster ground score spacers. And it's 2 of them, but who cares? They fit absolutely perfect. Yeah, alternator mount complete.
Yeah.
And it is unreasonably strong.
It looks good too.
Yeah, looks good, simple, clean. And I was looking at belt routing a little bit. This belt is too short and too narrow, but it's a good one to test things with. One could put the power steering pump right here, which would be very, very simple and very tidy, assuming it actually clears everything. I think I'm gonna mount it on this side after all. It would fit over here, but the mounting isn't super easy. It's not easy on this side either, but the real reason I wanna mount it over here, and it'll sit somewhere about there, roughly where the alternator used to sit. There's a lot more space on this side of the engine to put the reservoir, whereas that side, everything's exhaust and turbo and hot. So having hydraulic lines and reservoirs near them is not ideal. Got my parts mostly designed here. Yeah, I have the plate designed and then the 2 other plates that go that way to hold the power steering pump. So now I just have to add some holes in them to make them look cool. And then, yeah, be ready to cut it out. With just the smidgeniest of knocking those edges down. Should do it. Haha, very nice. Yeah, so in theory, I should be able to bolt those 2 plates to the pump. And then stick them in there. You get the idea. There's really no reason it shouldn't work, unless my math was stupid. But to test fit it, I have to remove that engine mount, which means I should probably put a jack under the engine. Well, yeah, see, I accounted for clearance for the pump, but I didn't account for this little added bit of bracketry there, which all I need to do is just sand a little chunk of it out. All right, got this all tacked together, and it turns out this interference was intentional, because that way I can weld this bracket to this piece of the motor mount, and it makes all of this more rigid. So for once, I actually got the spacing and everything right such that after welding, it fits perfectly. Look at that.
It's really satisfying.
Like, that, you couldn't ask for a better fit. That fit, though. Oh, so satisfying. So I've been rummaging around my collection of timing belt, or just belt idlers, tensioners. I don't think either of those will work at all. This one might work, but it'd be a manual tensioner, which would be kind of annoying. I think there might be one more up in the loft from the LS that's in the Humvee. We shall find out. Aha! Yonder. Oh! And it's even a rib side tensioner, so now I have options there. Cool. Well, that's what I was after.
Kind of cozy up here.
It also smells like basil and tomatoes. The Polar smells like basil? No, the basil and tomatoes smell like basil and tomatoes. My wife's plants are all growing up here.
I thought you meant the pulley.
No!
You don't get this pulley, and then I hear it smells like basil and tomato.
So, if I mount it there, then I could use just a straight idler down here for belt wrap, which is really easy because I just need a spacer and a longer bolt. I was gonna say I could make an adjuster for the adjuster, if you know what I mean. Like, I could make this hole in here slotted. You know what though? I will wait until I have the belt to make that though, because I might find that I need it a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. We'll put that on hold until I get the belt, which will probably be right about now. I think there's some important packages in the mail. So, you know, why take a normal vehicle when I could take a supercharged LS swap Humvee? Nice. Well, the package wasn't there, but I did get the little... Oh, hi. Are you smiling at me? Are you a silly boy?
He was actually just sitting on the corner waiting for you to come back.
That's hilarious. Hi. You're a good boy. Yeah. You like the Humvee? Yeah? I don't think you'd like it if you rode in it. I don't think so. And just like that, we have a belt. See if it fits. Yeah. Slipping onto the smooth pulley. Make sure it's all lined up. Look at that. Spiffy.
Yeah, seems like that worked out.
Yeah, perfect. Not my best welds ever, but this tiny little piece just got super hot, super quick, and then it was kind of difficult to weld. Working on it, getting the ECU tuned and hacked as we speak. Then I'll have to do a whole bunch of wiring. Apparently I need to make a belt routing diagram. I just routed it the wrong way. I put the pulley under, this is supposed to go, yeah.
That way, yeah, okay.
Yeah, duh.
Wow.
Don't forget that there's only 1 week left to enter the Ram giveaway. We're giving away this Cummins, $20,000, and this pit bike. And you get one entry to win for every $1 spent at grindhardplumbingco.com. We have an unexpected, really awesome video for you guys next week, so don't forget to subscribe.